Any person that we appoint would have to be upfront with them and say, if we appoint you to fill out the rest of this term, you cannot run for that position next time.
Since this was little more than a month before the election for the office of tax assessor collector, sometimes you gotta wonder if politicians just don't like to hear themselves talk. Maybe someone who's not running for re-election would have a little bit different take on it.
Let the process work and get it behind us, one way or the other.
You see, this is what it looks like when you have an elected official who believes that he is so much smarter than everybody else that he can make better decisions than the voters. On February 17, 2009, an appointment came before the Commissioner's Court. At that time, Commissioner Snell didn't make any issue out of not running for the office by the person that was appointed. Maybe Jim Lewis didn't get around to telling him how he was supposed to vote or what his position was on that day. You might notice in the Commissioner's Court minutes from February the 17th that Commissioner Moshik expressed concern about the contemplated action of the court. So much, in fact, that he ultimately voted against the action. Commissioner Moshik's concern was based on the information the court had received earlier in the morning about a written opinion drafted by then Criminal District Attorney John Segrist. That opinion was written in 2006 before Kelly Snell was ever on the court. It's kind of hard to make the case that John Segrist had an axe to grind when he wrote and made a very articulate case that the people were disenfranchised by the appointment of someone other than they voted for. In this case, it was actually Kelly Snell's own constituents who had elected their representative, and Kelly Snell refused to consider the will of the voters. Maybe you think that the disenfranchisement of 1,560 voters in McLennan County is no big deal. Maybe you think that the Texas Constitution is irrelevant and unimportant. Maybe you think that when the Texas voters go to the polls and take authority away from the government, putting a constitutional limitation on government, and then the government ignoring that is no big deal. You're not alone, and you don't really have to think about this. But at least now you know, and you can make your own decision.